Hey everyone, we're back down at the allotment today. Last week we had quite a lot of frost, so some of the things have died down quite a lot. The garlic still seems to be looking okay, and we can see some more shoots coming through. I think because it was frosty there's not as many weeds here, so they should be fine over the winter. We don't see any signs of digging, so it looks like everything is okay in this bed. We'll just take you over to the strawberries. So they've not started to die down yet. You can still see quite a lot of green leaves here. The strawberries do look quite rotten, however, so today probably won't be any ripe ones in there to pick. This bed might die down over the winter, as we're due to get some more frost this week. The shard still seems to be looking okay. There's a few. Just wait for the plane to move out. So the shard still seems to be growing. It looks like snails and slugs might still be at it, but there's still quite a few good leaves, and underneath it looks like they're coming back up, so they should be fine over the winter. It looks like there might have been some digging in this bed, so we'll just rake this back over and just make sure that nothing is in there and nothing gets back to it. The shard in this bed here, as you can see, is still coming back up quite a bit. We did take out a lot of the dead leaves. We might have to just take out the rest here, as you can see, and just clear up this bed, and then more might come through, and then D can just go through that when he comes back. Unfortunately, the Cape gooseberry bush, that seems to have caught the worst of the frost, and that's died. It was quite big before, but now it's just a few branches and they seem to be just hanging in there. I don't think these ones that are still left on now will ripen up, as we're due to get more frost this week. Unfortunately, they might die down. The beans that were in this bed, I don't know if something's been digging them, as you can see some of the beans on the surface. So we'll go through that and just push any that have come up back in so that they have more of a chance to grow. I'm not sure what's been in this bed, but we'll go through that and push down any of the beans that have come up to the surface. The beetroot seems to be dying down, unfortunately. There were a few that were left in there, so we're not sure if they might be fine underground, but we'll check on that when we come back later on this week. It looks like the frost has finally got to the chocho, so that's unfortunately all dead now. So we'll just take that down and clear up this trellis, and then when D comes back he can decide what he wants to plant there again. This is the rest of the bush. As you can see, unfortunately the plant has all died back. It looks like the frost that came down last week badly affected it, even as lilies have been affected. So you can see they've started to wilt and die down. But you can see some new shoots coming off the bottom, so we'll cut back some of the dead leaves and then just leave the fresh shoots that are coming up. The other Cape gooseberry bush, you saw how big that was last week when we came. Unfortunately, this one seems to have died back quite a lot. The frost affected this one quite badly. We might see and take some of these off and see if they'll ripen up at home. So we'll go through that afterwards and just take off those ones. The shard in this bed still seems to be doing okay. We can see some new leaves that have come up. We did clear quite a lot of this out last week. The broccoli that was over there, there's still some broccoli over there, so we'll cut that back and go through that and see if there's any good ones to take home with us. The sprouting broccoli that we cut back last week, it looks like some new leaves have come through there as well. We cut back quite a lot of this bed just to make it look a bit healthier and get rid of the leaves that were decaying. So that looks to be okay. There's some that have come out into the pathway, so we might just try and see if we can push those back through and see if they'll stay out of the way. We'll just take you round to the garlic. So the garlic in this bed, I'm not sure if something's got to this because it looks like quite a lot of it has died back or something was eating it. It could be the rats that were here. So we'll just go through this bed, take up all the weeds and just look for any holes or any signs of digging and just make sure that nothing was in this bed. The tomatoes that were here, they've all died down, so we'll just cut back these branches and just clear out some of these buckets here. The elephant garlic that's in this bed here, that seems to be doing okay. So we'll just do some weeding in this bed. It's quite wet today, so we might not be out here as long. So we might just spend most of the time with the polytunnel because we've got some carrots to plant in there. We were going to do them last week, but when we checked in the bag, there weren't any seeds that he wanted that were left, so we ordered some. They came just at the end of last week. We'll just take you into the polytunnel and see how the things are doing in there. The rain's starting to get a bit heavier, so we'll just go undercover. The dragon fruit still seems to be doing okay, so that should be fine through the winter as it's quite warm in here, so that shouldn't be too bad. The lemongrass still seems to be surviving. It's starting to die back just a little bit on the top, but the rest of the plant is fine. This is the bed that we're going to put the carrots into, so we'll just rake that back over again and I get some carrots in there. The peppers, some of the branches are dying back, some of them are okay. But some of the peppers are still ripening up, so we'll leave those for now and see if they'll ripen up more when we come back later in the week. This bush here, we'll just take off all the ones from this, so we can just take those ones off and cut back the bush, and that should be okay. Most of these other beds here are empty. We've got the other lemongrass here. We tried to straighten this one, but it didn't seem to want to straighten up, so we'll just leave that as it is. These other beds are empty. These are the buckets that had the carrots in when we came last week, but we took all of those out. These peppers, some of them are still ripening, so we'll leave those. It looks like the bush is finally starting to die back, so we'll cut a few of these back as these ones here look like they're going rotten. So we'll just chop some of these down and clear that up. This one here looks like some fresh ones are starting to come through. I don't know if they'll get any bigger. They don't look like they're gonna get any riper than this. There's a few ripe ones on here that are red. There's this one here. I don't know if that's rotten or if it's supposed to be like that. Some are starting to turn, but most of the bush looks like it's rotting down, so we'll just clear that up. These buckets did have the ginger in. I did check them when we came last week, but it looks like a lot of worms got to them, so we'll just leave those as they are for now. I'll speak to D and see what he wants done with those. I don't know how a lot of worms got into the buckets. I don't know what soil he used. We'll just clear up some of these, get rid of the rotten leaves, and then we'll be back with you. Hi everyone, so I had the cameraman go through the gooseberry bush just to see if there were any that were ready and could be taken home. Sadly, we've gone through quite a lot of them, and although their husks are quite big, inside of them, the berries have shriveled up. So it looks like the frost got to them quite badly. So we're just going to go through, check for any ripe ones. You can kind of feel them through the paper, so you don't have to peel all of them. And then we'll take these ones home and see if they'll ripen up at home and do something with those. But unfortunately these ones, the frost got to them too badly. We didn't get to them in time, or maybe they planted out too late and just didn't ripen properly. So we'll go through the rest of the bush, chop down any of the dead leaves and vines and clear up these bushes. There's quite a few different bushes, so we'll go through all of them and cut them back, and then we'll be back with you afterwards. Hi everyone, so we've gone through all the bushes that we could find. These are the gooseberries that we've managed to get off of them. These ones feel slightly bigger than the ones that are on there, as most of them are shriveled up. We don't know if they'll ripen up, but we'll see what happens when we take them home. We've got quite a few, so might be able to just make one pot of jam with these, we'll see. We're just going to take down the cho-cho now, and then we'll be back with you. Hey everyone, so we've just gone through and taken down all the cho-cho that was dying and decaying. As you can see, we've cleared off the trellis. We've just left one of the vines at the very bottom here, so that when D comes back he can sort that out, as it might start to regrow when it comes back through to the springtime. We've also cut down the tomato vines because those were all dying and decaying as well. So we've just chopped those back. I don't know if the plants will come back up, but next year D always gets some fresh ones so he can replant those. We cut down a lot of the Cape gooseberry bushes, so they're all cleared now. We're just going to go through into the polytunnel and plant the carrots, and then we'll be back with you. Hi everyone, so we've gone through and we've just put out some of the carrot seeds in this bed here. I've just put them in rows and put them a bit more spaced out so that hopefully they don't all grow bunched up together. We'll see how they do when they come through. We've also cleaned up a lot of these chili pepper bushes, as there was a lot of dead leaves on there, so we've just gone through and cleaned up quite a few of them. We're leaving these ones here for now because they still look like they're ripening. So we'll come back and check on those a bit later in the week and just see how they're doing, because we are due to get some frost later this week. We've cleaned up some of these ones as well and just cut off all the dead vines just to make sure that they might spring back up next year. I'm not sure how chili peppers work. We've spoken to D. He said he has filmed some videos whilst he's been in Jamaica, but the internet out there is still quite bad where they had the hurricane, so he's not able to upload any of his videos. So when he comes back from holiday, you'll get all of his videos. He'll post them in between the allotment videos, so you can see what he got up to when he was in Jamaica. He's doing quite well. He's not able to get around as much because a lot of the roads are still quite bad, but he's doing his best. His parents have got a garden there, so he's just going around filming in their garden. You might see some of his cooking videos as well when he comes back. So we've just got a bit of weeding to do, and then once we've done that, that will be it for today. So thank you for watching. Remember to like, share and subscribe, and we'll see you all in the next video.